Hi, I'm Shannon from houseimprovements.com. In this video, I'm going to show you some different areas where when you're doing some framing, you might need to add some blocking. Now blocking is usually just some additional wood, not really needed structurally for the building to stand, but used for things like backing for drywall. So, in a corner where maybe a stud didn't end up, you need something there for the drywall sheet to go against or to screw to. Other example would be closet rod supports, towel bars in the bathroom, toilet paper, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes some electrical needs some backing or some blocking. So there's a few different areas where you might need it. And in one of my previous framing videos from this cabin build, I had mentioned that we would take a look at it. I almost forgot. We want to do some insulating of vapor barrier, and I realized I haven't done this video, so I better do it now before we get it all covered up. So let's get right to it. So like I said, one place that you're going to need some blocking a lot of times is in a corner of a room, where you've got two walls intersecting with each other. And you could add an extra stud in or whatever in the one wall to pick up the drywall there in the corner, or you can just simply add some blocking. And a lot of times blocking is easier. Sometimes you can just use some scrap pieces. It doesn't necessarily have to be one solid piece. So it might be a way to use up some scrap. If the blocking is needed in an exterior wall, you might not want to add a stud in just for cold convection, where you can put some blocking in instead in front of the insulation. So let's, I'm going to take the camera off the tripod, take you around and show you a few examples. So one of the most common examples of some backing for drywall would be to make an L, we call it. So when you're framing the wall, you've got your normal studs here, you've got a corner stud here. But then where this wall would have butted in on the back side, you wouldn't have had any backing inside here for drywall. Okay, so we add a second piece in, forming an L shape. We add this piece against the last stud, and that gives us the backing we need right here for drywall. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been anything here. Now you could simply add another stud in line there sticking out. That'd be fine. But a lot of times we just install an L like that. This would be another example of how it would work out in this closet. Okay, so that's one. Another example would be a U. So let's see if I can find a U right here. So here we've again got a corner, and we would have had a stud. Let's go down. We would have had a stud right here and right here at the opening. This is the outside corner, but then we've got a wall butting into it. So if we wouldn't have done anything there, we would have had something like this. We would have had our two studs, and we would have had the stud, oops, we would have had the stud wall back there. Now, in this case, it wouldn't have been too incredibly out of range to leave that small gap there. But what I did was I added in the U, which was just basically adding in this extra piece back there to give you this area in here to screw to. This isn't the best example. Mostly that U I used in there to make this corner more rigid, but it is a legitimate reason why you would do it. A lot of times it might be a U, maybe you have your two studs, whatever, like this, right? 16 inches apart. You've got a wall butting in there going that way. You got this wall, and sorry, or 16 inches apart isn't a good example. Maybe they're 8 inches apart. So you could add a 2x8 in there, standing up, that would span that whole gap. Okay. Another way of doing that same thing is like what I've done right here in this wall. So again, we're in this closet. We've got this closet wall butting out into the exterior wall, and it happens to hit partway between a couple of studs. Okay, so I just added some horizontal blocking between those two studs up there. I didn't need it, but in the middle, about where my middle of my drywall sheets would range, and at the bottom, it just gives me some backing to screw that drywall to. You could add 3 or 4 blocks in there if you really wanted to. Right, in this case, this stud here is only about 6 inches away from that wall, so the end of the drywall realistically can easily span that. But I still wanted some backing in there. Here again, we're in the closet. We've got backing up here, so that when the closet shelf goes in, there's something to actually secure the shelf cleat to, nice and securely, instead of maybe only being able to hit this back stud and maybe the middle one. You know, your cleat's going to be out at least 20 inches. So we've got solid backing back there to hit. On the back wall, the cleat can simply hit every stud that it comes across. Again, in the bathroom, here in the bathroom is some more examples of some blocking. We've got blocking over here to mount the toilet paper roll holder to. And usually I mount that about 24 inches to center off the floor. And I've used a 2x8 in that case. And this blocking up here is for towel bars. I usually mount that right around 48 inches. And that would be to center from the floor. Okay, so you got to kind of pre-think some of this out. You know, where your towel holders, toilet paper, that sort of stuff is going to go. Pre-think it out, and even think about the lengths of the items you're using, so that you can get the right blocking in there and don't have to use wall anchors and that sort of stuff. Back here, we might have a couple towel bars behind the door, so 20-inch bar. I've just added some extra blocking vertically on those studs, so we can add a couple bars there behind the door if we want to. Here's some blocking I did in the other bathroom corner. So I've got a wall going across here and a wall butting into it, and I've added a 2x6 in there to get me some good backing all the way in that corner. And that's just for drywall. So kind of once you're done framing, I know you need to think about the blocking while you are framing as well, but sometimes you just got to take a walk around because you might have missed something or didn't think about something. That's just an L that's in that corner. You can see this wall here is butting into this wall, and we've got an L built in this corner of this wall. And this gives me lots to screw to when I'm hanging drywall. Here's an example over here where I just used some scraps. Got some good blocking all the way up this corner for backing. And I used like 4 chunks of, let's see, 2x6 back there. Again, doesn't have to look pretty. You just got to function and do what you need it to do. Now, electricians, they'll add some blocking as they go as well as they need it usually. So I usually try to leave them some stuff laying around. But if you're doing your own electrical, it's good to know where you might need to add some blocking. Here would be an example here where you've got a wider gang box, a lot of times wider than 2, like this is a double, this is a triple, but it could be a quad or a 5-plex or whatever. And the longer these boxes get, the more flimsy they can be. This one's actually pretty solid, but the electrician here has added just a scrap of 2x4 on the side of that box. So if it was flimsy at all, There's some backing there for the drywall, and if we had to, we could throw a couple screws in it or glue the drywall to that block just to give that box a little more rigidity. Here's a box for all the TV connections. You can see they added a block just to make it so they could secure that box a little bit better. So there's all kinds of places you can add blocking. Where it's cold and you need vapor barrier, a lot of guys are using these larger vapor boxes. So when they put in the slim little LED spotlights that are very popular right now, there's somewhere to put all that wiring and that up there, and it still creates the vapor barrier. So this box is bigger than the light, but we kind of need some room up there, so the electrician has added some blocking all the way around, basically, well, on 3 sides, so that when I go to seal that vapor barrier, I've got something solid to seal up against, and it just makes my life a lot easier. We've got blocking between the trusses, you know, where a wall falls between 2 trusses. We've got to add some kind of blocking in order to be able to attach the top of those walls to, so they're not just floating in midair. You see all kinds of blocking up in here. Okay, so that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg, honestly, but the whole point is just to be thinking about where you might need some blocking as you progress through the project, whether it's for mounting something on the finished wall, just backing for the drywall, those sorts of things. It's just going to make life easier for yourself or the next contractors down the road, as long as everybody knows where it is. So if you're putting something in specifically, take some pictures to remind yourself. Take some notes if you need to for the exact location that it is, if it's not something that you typically do. And that'll just make things a lot easier than trying to guess after it's covered up. What did I do with that piece of blocking? I don't remember. Okay, so just some little ideas to think about. This cabin project has been huge. We've got tons of videos. Take a look, see what we have. Click a thumbs up on any video you watch. That'd be great. Subscribe to our channel. Comment below. What are some other places that you normally would use some blocking that I maybe didn't cover here? Or what do you do differently? Let me know.